Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Darts. We're here at the Lakeside with PDC Chairman Barry Hearn. Barry, first of all, what a charity event this is.
Well, you know, I mean, it's something you look forward to every year because it's so well organised, so many great names here, so many competitive people, and, you know, we're just relying on the fish.
As well, Parkinson's, it's a charity close to the darting heart as well, obviously with Dave Clark and everything involved.
Yeah, of course, and Jess Harding, who organised this event, does a brilliant job for and raises loads of money. And of course, this event this year is going to be televised all over the world, so I mean, it's a first, it's a breakthrough event, and something that's in my calendar every year. I mean, that once Jess tells me the date, nothing changes. There's no meeting more important than coming here on this day.
PDC as well this week, we're going down under the Oceanic World Series events, start in Brisbane.
Very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of players out there who want to stamp their authority. Remember last year, we had a different World Series event winner every single tournament. I wouldn't be surprised to see that replicated. You know, we've had two so far. You know, obviously different winners in those two, so let's see what happens. But I think I'm expecting a stronger show from the local players. You know, there's a few prospects coming through, as well as, you know, people like Corey Cadby. It's been quiet this year. You know, he's had a sort of a broken year in terms of getting visas and getting over here. I think he's ready to settle in, and he'll be looking for a big result as well.
Has the World Series really helped the local players, the areas that PDC have gone into over the last 3 years?
I think the World Series is like a flag blow, you know, flag waving exercise. You know, shows the world the very top players, but more importantly, the qualification system for the local players behind it for their selection builds the domestic roots of a sport. And that's essential, you know, because you need local, you need big stars from every area come through the game. You know, darts is a sport with no boundaries, no limits on entry. You know, it's got open playing field, just about ability. And I think we're going to see more and more of these local stars become household names.
World Matchplay just finished. Rob Cross adding his second major televised title. Did Rob need that for his career to get the monkey off the world's being a fluke off his back, do you feel?
I think that's a little bit overrated, really. I mean, Rob's been in finals for the, you know, Premier League finals, and he's been there or thereabouts. And the game is so competitive, you can't expect to just turn up and win. I mean, even Michael van Gerwen, #1 player in the world, is reportedly struggling. You know, he's not really struggling. It's just the game is so competitive. But for Rob, obviously, that vindicated his position as being one of only 4 players ever to win the World Championships and the World Matchplay. If there was a monkey on his back, it's been removed. I don't believe there was, because I think he's sensible enough boy to know that over a period of time, if you've got sustainability in the sport, you've got consistency, eventually you'll win, and you'll win big. And that's what he did at the Matchplay. I thought he played superbly.
Talking to Michael van Gerwen, he announced this week that he doesn't plan to play in any more Pro Tours for the rest of the year. Is that a concern for the PDC that more and more of the top stars are missing a lot of Pro Tours?
Exactly the opposite. I think it speaks volumes to the PDC and the opportunities available to players to earn a good living. And for every time Michael van Gerwen doesn't turn up, if I'm a player coming through the ranks, I'm thinking, right, that's handy. I wish a few more top players didn't turn up, because I've got more chance of further in their career. So, you know, it's an interesting one. I think we're seeing what we see in golf, where players pick and choose, and that's their right. And I think it's a statement on the overall strength of the PDC circuit, where you can earn life-changing money without playing every single event. For the lesser ranked players, the players coming into the game, it's got to be good news for them. You know, you saw Brendan Dolan go back to the winners' circle this week after an absence of a few years. And Brendan's a good player. It's just that everyone's a good player. So to be that special player, you need a little bit of luck. You need to be in the right place, right time, and you need to come out with those big checkouts when required. And I just think darts is in such a wonderful place. It doesn't matter who turns up, because they're all stars.
As well, the calendar's rammed as always. Can we expect it to be even more rammed in 2020 with more midweek Pro Tours and things like that?
Yeah, I think there'll be some more changes. That you know, World Series will grow to a few. Whoops, a little line bite there. I think World Series will grow to a few more locations. There's going to be some big news coming up in the next couple of months. I think we're getting to the stage now where the prize money is such that people really identify darts as a sport. That's interesting. And a little tug. Yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I mean, I don't want to get complacent, because that's a killer. But we're in a good place, and there's some great players coming through. coming from more and more different countries, which is obviously helping our international TV sales. And everywhere we go, we seem to be a talking sport. You know, there's always a news story in there somewhere. You know. Wow, look at that. Let me just get this one in. So all in all, everything's looking good in the old world of darts.
As well, interesting some bits on social media, and the Grand Slam has the BDO picks. A lot of talk that the BDO might pick Mikuru and Leighton Bennett as their 8 picks. What's your thoughts on that? Especially Leighton only being a young age. Could they pick him if they wanted to, or is it?
I think I would strongly recommend them to do exactly that. I think the 3 World Champions should be a shoo-in on the Grand Slam. So Glenn, you know, obviously the Japanese lady, Mikuru, and the youngster, I think they add to the Grand Slam, and I think they're there on merit. So I would be more than disappointed if they weren't in the invitation list.
Just something I'm touching on there, obviously Leighton's age and with the PDC regulations, is that an issue, or is that something you can get round because he's a BDO pick?
I think we can get around it on, I don't think it needs to be gotten round. I think we just got to be aware that we've got to make sure it's a level playing field for everyone. Obviously the young man's a great talent, but there's other great talents out there as well, so you have to be consistent. On things like the Grand Slam, where you've earned the right, it's an entirely different thing than, say, should he be allowed to play in Challenge Tour, Development Tour matches. That's an issue we've got to resolve. But you know, in today's world, you've got to be very careful on child protection, things like that. So there is no rush for a great talent, and Leighton seems to be a great talent. So my advice to him is just keep your head down, keep chucking, keep scoring, keep knocking on the door, and play the best you can, and enjoy yourself, because it's a long career, darts. It's not a short career. You know, you've got players in their 50s still competitive, and that's good. I mean, that's good for any youngster coming in, because they can plan a career around darts, not just as a quick flash in the pan, but a consistent time where you can change your life.
Can we possibly see the development tour age lowered in coming years, so these young prospects, not just Leighton, but the many of them could play on it?
I think the things like, you know, as I said, child protection is an issue. We're on.
Back again, Barry's now contributed to his team's fishing tally.
At last.
Obviously the world's Ali Pally, 96 again this year.
Yeah.
128 before too long, do we think?
You can never say never. I mean, I think we've always had a very strict policy of conservative advancement. You know, we've dropped the prize money up to 2.5 million. We've got the players up to 96. We've got more international players. I mean, the good thing is we virtually sold out the first day we went on tickets sale. You know, so we know the public. The biggest criteria is what the public want to see. And they speak by buying tickets and by tuning into TV shows. While we've got this growth still continuing, I think every PDC event this year has sold more tickets than it did last year. Well, in a mature market, that's quite impressive. We're trying to keep our ticket prices down, reasonably down. We're trying to stop the secondary market by more and more cancellation of tickets. We put them back on sale. So in other words, the message is to everyone, you're wasting your time buying a secondary ticket, because you won't get one, because we'll cancel it. Eventually that message will sink in, so the real fan gets their chance. And overall I'm pleased. I don't think for the next year or so, there's probably nothing broken and nothing to fix. We just got to keep working on the customer experience, make sure that everyone enjoys their night when they go to the darts. They get royal entertainment in a secure fashion, and they can have a good time. That's what it's all about, putting the smile on people's faces. And the biggest smile's on the darts player's face, because someone's going to walk away with £500,000 again.
You touched on always trying to evolve and move things on. Can we see maybe some freshening up a few of the older tournaments after the contenders in the Premier League? That freshened that up really well.
Yeah,
so
I think again that was the first year of the contenders, and it's probably something we'll do again. Eventually, you never know, there could be a contenders tournament within Premier League where the winner gets the slot next year. I mean, but again, you mustn't rush these things. You know, everyone wants everything today. But that means sometimes you create a business that's not sustainable. So you have to take small steps to make a successful long journey. And we're very balanced in our approach. We know exactly what we're doing, and there's an awful lot of thought that goes into every decision. We don't make any knee-jerk reactions.
Can we see some changes in the other tournaments to maybe freshen up the formats and just give the players and the fans something different to view?
I know don't think there's too many. I mean, at the moment, I'm not getting that reaction that there is any need to freshen up. The World Matchplay is a fixture. Would be ashamed to change that because it works. The World Grand Prix double-in is also another fixture. I think the European Championships can get bigger. I think the World Cup can get bigger because they have international television interest, which is helpful. I think the Players' Championships down to the number we've got now. Everyone's in there, so go and enjoy yourself at Butlins, and it's a spectacular few days down there. There's not too much to change. I mean, we just got to get more professional in our streaming and our digital applications, and we've got to make the most of spreading the game to markets that we're not strong in yet. So we look at the Indian subcontinent, we look at South America, we're looking at Africa in more detail, and this is a long plan. It's not, we're creating a sport that's going to last generations, not last a few years. He's having another little look.
He's having a little nibble there. As well, we've finally lost Lakeside as a darting venue. The BDO announced this week they're going to the O2 Indigo. Yeah. Is that a sad day for darts that Lakeside will no longer be a darting?
Who knows what happens. I'm sure that Lakeside will be looking at other opportunities. It's a historic venue. I don't see it as a bad day for the BDO. I see it as a change day for the BDO, but I think they've got bigger problems in terms of the appeal of the Challenge Tour and Developmental Tour takes away the appeal of inter-county matches, because people want to live the dream and they want to see how they match up against the world's best. Glen Durran has been a great example of someone who's moved over and has embraced the PDC system. Yep.
I'm in front of you, so if you have a bite, don't strike, please.
If I have a bite, don't strike.
Yeah, he's coming through. See his line?
Yeah, I got you, don't worry.
Is he on the bomb?
Yeah, it's okay.
He's down.
Carry on, it's okay, mate.
He's down.
Yeah, on the bomb.
All right.
So, it's... People always want more and more without thinking it through what the effect of change is. What we need to do is continue on our path to create a truly global sport and to develop those regions like we've done with the Asian Tour, the Australasian Tour, looking at supporting America. And we mustn't take a parochial view of British darts fans because it's a global sport. It's understandable that people think that way, but there's a big world out there and one that we intend to dominate.
Just going off darts for a minute, boxing, we've got a great fight at the O2 coming up later this month. Lomachenko, arguably the world's best, coming to UK shores.
Unbelievable.
Is there any way Luke Campbell can get the job done?
Well, Luke Campbell's a very capable fighter, there's no question. Lomachenko looks to be very special, but boxing's about taking your opportunity. You can't shy away from. Why do you start boxing? You want to be world champion. You want to beat the best. That's the overriding factor in a boxing career. Campbell wants to test himself against the best, and he believes he can win. I think it's going to be a tough night for him, but he has the opportunity. Our job is to give the opportunity. We don't create winners and losers. That's settled in the ring. But as a spectacle to a fight fan, to see that fight, to be able to potentially tell your grandchildren, I saw Lomachenko live, if indeed he is the real thing, which I think he very well might be. You can't buy those. You're creating memories, and that's what sports promotion's all about. It's really important to remember that the paying public are the ones that judge your success or failure, no one else.
Last one from us, can we expect the AJ date to drop this week?
Yeah, next week, early next week. I mean, I know they're in the final stage of negotiations back at base and all over the world.
You want to scale it, guys?
And I would expect something to be announced next week.
Barry, absolute pleasure talking to you here at the Riverbank. Thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure, thank you.